Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going on a little adventure to learn all about a very special kind of mountain. It's a mountain that can breathe smoke, and sometimes even fire. So let's find out exactly what a volcano is, shall we?
Okay, let's use our imaginations for a second. Can you picture a giant mountain, way up high, maybe even touching the clouds? But what if you saw little puffs of smoke coming right out of the very top? It sounds a bit like something from a fairy tale, doesn't it? Well, guess what? These mountains are totally real, and they have a special name, volcanoes.
All right, so we know they're a special kind of mountain, but what exactly makes a volcano, well, a volcano, and not just any old mountain? Let's get our detective hats on and take a closer look.
You know, the biggest secret is that little opening right at the very top. You can think of it like a chimney on a house. See, most mountains are solid rock all the way through, but a volcano, it has this special tunnel, this opening that goes all the way down deep, deep inside the earth.
Okay, so there's a tunnel going deep inside the earth. But what's actually down there? Let's take a little peek, a very safe one, of course, and find out what's going on way down under our feet.
Well, the first thing to know is that deep, deep inside our planet, it is so hot. I mean, it's way hotter than the sunniest summer day you can imagine. It's even hotter than an oven baking a pizza. It's so hot, in fact, that the hard, solid rock down there actually melts. Yep, it turns into a liquid, kind of like how an ice lolly melts on a warm day.
And this hot, melted rock has a very special science name. It's called magma. That's a really important word to remember. So magma is just hot, melted rock when it's still deep inside the earth.
Let's pause for a second. Can you try to picture that in your head? Imagine this red, glowing, melted rock moving around way, way under the ground. It's not thin and splashy like water. Oh no, it's super thick, kind of like gooey porridge or sticky honey, and it moves really slowly. And what's that thick, melted rock called again? That's right, magma.
So we've got all this hot, thick magma moving around down there. But what happens when it starts to get pushed and squeezed? Well, it has to go somewhere, right? This is where things get really exciting. Let's find out what happens when a volcano erupts.
You know how if you shake up a bottle of fizzy pop, all the bubbles build up and want to get out? Well, it's a little bit like that with the magma. The magma and lots of hot gases get all pushed together, and the pressure builds up and up and up. Eventually, there's so much pushing that it forces the magma all the way up through that volcano's tunnel and right out of the top.
Okay, here's a really cool and important thing to know. As soon as that hot, melted rock comes out of the volcano, it gets a brand new name. So listen carefully. When it's inside the earth, we call it magma. But the second it comes outside, we call it lava. It's the exact same stuff, hot, melted rock. It just has a different name depending on whether it's inside or outside.
So now we know what happens. The volcano erupts, and that hot lava pours out from the top. It starts to flow down the sides of the mountain, a bit like a very, very slow river of glowing red rock. But wait, it's not just lava that comes out. The volcano also lets out these big, puffy clouds that go up into the air. These clouds are made of steam and lots of teeny tiny little bits of rock that we call ash. It all just puffs out and drifts up into the sky. Now, a volcano erupting is a huge, powerful thing, isn't it? So you might be thinking, are they a bit scary? Well, that's a good question. Let's talk about how we can learn about volcanoes and make sure everyone stays safe.
This is a really important part. There are special scientists who have a super cool job. They're called volcanologists, and their whole job is to watch volcanoes. They use all sorts of special tools to listen to the rumbly noises inside the volcano and check if it's changing. That way, if they think a volcano might erupt, they can tell everyone so people have lots and lots of time to go somewhere safe.
Okay, this next part might surprise you. Did you know that volcanoes aren't just powerful? They can actually be really helpful for our planet. It's true. In a way, they're like giant builders for the Earth. Let's see how they do it.
So just think about it. First, the hot lava flows out. Then, as it meets the cool air, it starts to cool down itself, and it gets hard. It turns from that gooey red liquid into solid black rock. And when that happens over and over again, all that new rock builds up and can actually make brand new land. Some whole islands, like the beautiful islands of Hawaii, were made by volcanoes.
And that's not all. Here's another amazing way volcanoes help. Remember that ash that puffs out?
Well, it's full of good things that plants need to grow big and strong. It makes the ground, the soil, super healthy. So farmers who live near volcanoes can grow some of the most yummy fruits and vegetables. Isn't that neat?
You know, not all volcanoes are the same. We can think of them in 3 different ways. You've got active volcanoes, which means they might still erupt sometimes. Then there are sleeping volcanoes. We also call them dormant, and they're basically just taking a very, very long nap. And finally, you have extinct volcanoes. And that means scientists are pretty sure they're finished erupting and won't ever wake up again.
So, when we think about everything we've learned, what's the big idea to take away? It's that a volcano isn't just any mountain. It's a special mountain that is actually a builder for our world.
So have a little think. What was the most interesting thing you found out about volcanoes today? Was it learning the difference between magma and lava? Or maybe it was finding out that volcanoes can actually build new islands? Whatever it was, I really hope you had fun on our little journey today. Thanks so much for exploring with me.